Hey guys, Rhett here. What's going on? Thanks for watching. I wanted to talk about something that is affecting a ton of you. It's affecting a ton of you, and I'm going to say some things here that go against everything you've ever heard. And please bear with me. Please bear with me. And if you are a real estate investor and you are trying to use leverage, you're going to say to me, wow, he's right. And this is something that sometimes you have to learn the hard way. And I want to try and allow you guys to avoid that. You know, on this channel, it's all about the truth. It's all about transparency. There's no BS here. And I'm telling you something that's going to save you a lot of time and aggravation in the future if you do this. And it's going to go against every bone in your body to do it. Okay? It's going to go against every bone in your body. But guys, you have to stop fibbing on your taxes. You have to stop. What I mean is when you take all these write-offs and you show that you don't make any money, great, you don't have to pay taxes. Guess what? Your leveraging power diminishes so much every time you do that. When you don't make a lot of money on paper, you can't use a lot of debt, because no bank is going to give you a couple $100,000, a couple $1 million to build your real estate portfolio if on paper it's showing you're making $40,000 a year, right? If you make 100, don't show you make 30. What are you trying to save? I know you're trying to save 10, 15, 20,000 in cash and keep that in your pocket. I get that, trust me. But nobody who has huge real estate portfolios that totally use debt the right way show that they make no money. It just, no bank's going to give you money. And guys, if you've been in a position where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't get any financing, and the bank says, well, you know, you don't make any money, that's not a good place to be. Now, that's a fine place to be if you don't want to build real estate portfolios and eventually live off of the rent. If you want to build large real estate portfolios, at one point or another, using your own cash is not going to be the smartest option anymore. We want to use other people's money at a certain point in this process. Now, if you want to add your first 10, 15 units in cash, great. If you want to add your first 1, 2, 3 in cash, amazing. That's great. And that is different for everybody whenever you get to the point where it's time to use other people's money. That's a different point for everybody. But regardless, we're going to get to a point where we need to start using leverage. And if you show you don't make any money, the bank's not going to give you any money. It doesn't matter what those properties bring in every month. It does not matter, because when banks give you money, they always look at things in a worst case situation. They say, okay, well, if all these tenants move out of this property and they're not bringing in any rental income, are they still going to be able to afford the mortgage of the credit line or the refinance that we're going to give them as a bank? Are they going to be able to afford that payment every month? And if the bank looks and says, you make $50,000 a year, $40,000 a year, we can't give you $1 million. All I'm saying is, keep in mind, if you want to grow a portfolio, is it really worth saving 10 grand on your taxes if you cutting that down your income by 40,000 or by 50,000 or by 30,000 by writing this off and writing this off and writing this off and writing this off? Is it worth cutting your buying power down by hundreds of thousands of dollars? I'll tell you right now, it's not. Now, if you don't plan on building large-scale real estate portfolio's, by all means, do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to give you tax advice. I can't give you tax advice. I'm not a tax professional. All I'm saying is, if you want to use leverage in the future, you cannot give banks these sorry W-2s and these sorry tax returns, because they're going to say, okay, you make $30,000 a year. I have clients that call me all the time and they say, Rhett, I went to go get financed or do a BRRRR and refinance out of my property, and my tax returns say I don't make any money. And I said, well, how much money did you make last year? I made $150,000. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, but I took $85,000 in write-offs. Okay, that's a problem, and I know everywhere online. It's get bigger tax returns, write this off and save this and write this off. Write-offs are great, and that's all good and dandy. But when you need financing and you need to use leverage, you have to show that you make money. You have to. You can't buy something for $1 million if on paper you make $20,000 a year. It's not how it works. So all I'm saying, guys, is when you're doing your taxes and when you're thinking about this stuff and you want to use leverage, you have to keep in mind banks are going to look at this, all right? So think about the pros and cons of writing off too much stuff and being a little more truthful, okay? As it relates to your buying power, that's all I care about is buying power. Can we buy? Can we buy? Can we buy? If I can buy 2 properties and then the bank's gonna say, oh, you can't buy anymore because your debt to income's too high. And I'm sitting there like, what do you mean? And I took too many write-offs. That's what you get. Okay, you deserve that. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you what to do, but please just keep that in mind. It's gonna help you tremendously moving forward. All right, guys, please leave your questions, comments below. I'll get to all of them, and we'll see you next time.